we are going to finally start to review the manga verses, which is also written by the same author who wrote One Punch Man and Mob Psycho 100. Let's get into chapter 1 today. So chapter 1 starts off by showing us different examples of natural enemies and their roles of prey and predators. Almost feeling like this is meant to foreshadow something later in the story. In our first few panels, we get an image of a castle, a gathering of warriors, and even what appears to be a king in knight's armor. So right away, I get a feeling that this is taking place in a medieval time frame. The king addresses the warriors and their purpose for coming. He goes as far as to say that the existence of humanity is on the line. And he also addresses warriors as heroes, further expressing humanity's desperation for a savior, and almost immediately showing us a similarity to One Punch Man, as One Punch Man also has heroes and the Hero Association. Quick side note, I do expect some similarities to pop up between One Punch Man, Mob Psycho 100, and Versus, as they are all written by the same author, that being One. The king states that generations of humanity have been suffering from superior power of the demons, and that most of the world's armies and warriors have been defeated and have fallen under the control of the 47 demon kings, who were then ruled by the most powerful and vicious demon of them all, the Great Demon King. The king announces that each hero will get assigned a Demon King fortress to invade and conquer. During the speech, we get a closer look at the heroes, some of which seem very confident in their abilities to defeat demons. Their conversations even mention how when some of them were children, their villages were governed by the demon armies. Then behold, we get introduced to our main character of this new One story, Hollow, who seems to be very nervous or even scared of the idea of seeking out a demon king. So I immediately think to myself when I see Hollow, this character so far is going to have to do like a 180 if he's going to be the savior of humanity. And another thing that I think of is he has a very similar look to Saitama from his pre-limit days where he still had hair. Another similarity is we also see that our main character Hollow has a support fairy named Pain. This is also reminiscent of Dimples from Mob Psycho 100, who is also a support character. He helps Mob on his various missions, and it also gives our main character someone to talk to other than talking to themselves. Hollow admits he's nervous after hearing the king's speech and realizing the full magnitude of what's on the line. Pain goes on to question Hollow's abilities and expresses resentment of being assigned as Hollow's support fairy, but then immediately acknowledges Hollow's strength and heart, and that no one can outdo Hollow with either. Pain knows this for sure due to training by Hollow's side. Soon, a hero comes to Hollow's defense. And this just might be the author One's way of making the story unpredictable, which is not a bad thing. So our hero is nervous and obviously not super confident in his abilities at the moment in the story. So it's like the author is definitely trying to throw us off almost and make it seem like this guy isn't up to par, right? So another thing that confuses me is the support fairy. So Pain has stated that he is trained alongside Hollow and he's familiar with how strong he is. But in the panel, Pain looks like a pig with fairy wings and he doesn't look intimidating at all. So that kind of makes me wonder, is his character, does he have a transformation? Can he transform into something cooler and more menacing and intimidating? So that's kind of got me a little interested there. The hero that came to Hollow's defense seems to be a close friend who encourages Hollow with positive thoughts about the future success to defeat the demons. Hollow utters his name as Ario. They promise each other they'll give it their best, and with that, the heroes set out on their missions. Our story fast forwards to half a year later. They show us Hollow takes camp along with other characters not yet shown and reads news that over the 6-month period since they set out on their journeys, most other heroes have failed their missions and have either been taken as prisoners, lab rats, have been converted to demons, or killed. Hollow and his crew realize that over the stint of their 6-month journey, they have finally reached the fortress of the 11th Demon King named Jachi. And although they have overcame many obstacles, thus becoming stronger, they are worried they might suffer the same fate as their fellow heroes. As Hollow continues to read the updates, he sees that his friend Ario has also been reported to have failed his mission and was defeated in battle. However, what has become of his friend is unknown. Pain suggests that continuing the mission after reading about the fate of the other heroes is a fool's errand, and that they should abandon the impossible mission to seek refuge. Concerned and angry about the possible fate of his friend Ario, Hollow becomes determined to see the mission through, and even states he's willing to proceed alone, knowing his chances of victory are bleak. Hollow's comrades and Fairy remind him that he can more than likely be killed, but nonetheless, Hollow reminds them, as well as himself, that he is a hero. And what kind of hero tucks tail and runs in the face of doom? It would be an honor for him to face the same doom that his recently fallen and brave fellow heroes had met. With that spirit, Hollow's sword begins to glow brightly. It is then explained that Hollow's sword is a magic sword of courage. These magical swords are fueled by its wielder's bravery and will to fight for what they believe in. They are given to each hero and are meant to be an effective weapon to defeat demons. Hollow begins to march towards the fortress. Hollow's comrades decide to follow the hero into battle. The crew enters the fortress, but are met with no opposition. In fact, it's quiet. They start to suspect a trap, but continue to move forward. Suddenly, they enter a room filled with sidelined demons who seem ready to spectate. Then, the 11th Demon King, Jachi, sits before them, unfazed and seemingly excited at their arrival. Jachi speaks and informs the heroes not to worry about the demons on the sidelines. They have been ordered not to engage or interfere. He had been waiting on the humans' arrival and would be disappointed if the fun was spoiled due to the demons' overwhelming force. He wanted to have some fun uninterrupted. Jachi encourages Hollow to run the fade. Hollow's wizard becomes angry and rallies all his magic to unleash upon the Demon King as he sits on his royal seat. Without moving from his chair, the Demon King spits a powerful blow to destroy the magical missile. Furthermore, he flicks towards the wizard, creating an air force that implodes him into his death. The Demon King rises from his seat and utters his hopes of a worthy battle are fading. So I would like to take a moment to comment on how great of an artist this mangaka is. Much like Yusuke Murata, this art is on a different level. The shading and the contrast between black and white are top tier. It's executed so well, it's almost like you're looking at the keyframes for an animation. I am so happy and excited that the author one has found another amazing artist to draw his amazing story. Hollow lunges to attack the Demon King, and although his technique is well noted, the Demon King still dodges all his attacks with ease and without unfolding his arms. The Demon King then stops his magical sword with the tips of his fingers. Suddenly, Hollow's leaking large amounts of blood. He turns to the Demon King, who's standing there with his sword and arm in his possession. The reality and pain sinks in. Hollow's arm has been ripped off. Okay, so a couple similarities I would like to point out here, okay? Now, the main thing I want to say is the Demon King looks really cool, okay? No complaints about that. However, I'm seeing similarities between this story and One Punch Man and Mob Psycho. And one of the similarities that I see is Jachi looks very similar to the Deep Sea King from One Punch Man. Just saying. And also, now that Hollow's arm is gone, not only does Hollow kind of look similar to Saitama before he lost his hair, but now he even looks kind of similar to E-Iron, who was Atomic Samurai's disciple from One Punch Man. E-Iron kind of has the same face a little bit. He has white hair, but the hairstyle is the same, and he got his arm chopped off by a monster in One Punch Man. So, two similarities there that I'm seeing. Just, that I'd point him out. The Demon King then returns the magical sword to its wielder and dares him to take it and cut him into pieces. Hollow hesitates. The Demon King assures Hollow this is no trick. He is so confident of his superiority, he will allow himself to be struck. Hollow becomes enraged with insult. He grips his sword firmly and screams his anger into a strike. His magical sword breaks against the Demon King's body. Hollow's spirit breaks as well. Then he gazes upon the Demon King's presence as if it were a mountain of power that is impossible to overcome. Hollow hopes melt into despair. The Demon King blasts the unworthy hero through and out of the fortress to his demise. Hollow's support fairy flies to his aid, and they both become engulfed by the river he fell into. Hollow then wakes up to see that he is alive and has been bandaged and treated for his wounds. Closing in from the distance, Hollow recognizes a familiar face, his older brother, Zabi. Zabi is trained to be a mage with magical powers. He and his squad, as well as other mage squads, have been sent out across the world to cast summoning spells in hopes to bring a new kind of human race to help fight the demon armies and save humanity. As the summoning is underway, a small force of demons stumble upon the humans. In a haste, they attack. The mages struggle to hold them off. Hollow, traumatized from his battle with the Demon King, freezes and once again becomes to feel the despair of a one-sided battle. Suddenly, the demons are struck with death blows. Hollow can't believe his eyes. From the summoning portal, out comes a military force, wielding firearms and wearing armored suits. They appear to be a technologically advanced force. Alright guys, so I don't even think I need to say anything, but there is definitely a similarity here between this military force and Halo. I mean, come on. Their armored suits look almost identical to the armored suits in Halo. Even their assault rifles look exactly like the assault rifles in Halo. Honestly, I'm surprised they were even able to get away with that one. I would have thought maybe there was like some copyright going on there, but again, another similarity. The military force makes quick work of the demons. Once victorious, they begin to take off their helmets, and before introductions can be made, Captain Kayla eagerly states on their world, mankind's existence is on the brink of extinction. Can the new world please save us? This is my last similarity. I would like to point out that Captain Kayla looks a lot like Genos, like a female version of Genos from One Punch Man. It's a lot of similarities. Now, I'm sure a lot of people are probably wondering, like, why am I bringing up these similarities? And I'm not saying, like, these similarities make it not good. All I'm saying is if you're going to write a completely new story and I'm going to engage in it and try to enjoy it, I would like to see, for the most part, original ideas. New characters, new names, just everything new. When you start recycling designs for certain characters, such as Hollow and Captain Kayla and the Demon King Jachi and so on and so forth, or even you recycle character roles, like Pain, who's similar to Dimples from Mob Psycho, it just kind of takes away from the new, and it makes me feel like I've seen this before kind of deal. But nonetheless, I think the chapter is amazing. I'm really excited to get into it and to continue to read it and review it for you guys. But the characters are interesting. The dynamic is interesting. It's crazy how when their saviors, essentially, from this new world come in and they think, oh, they're going to come in and save us. They're technologically advanced, so they probably got it all handled. But they're like, no, our world is on the brink of extinction and we need your guys' help. So that's a cool twist. I'm really excited to see where he goes with that. All right. But that is it, man. That is my review for the first chapter of the manga Verses that was written by the author one. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please hit the like button. Please leave a comment and please subscribe if you plan on coming back for more. All right. Otherwise, I will see you guys later.